Well, I brought something along that's not quite so closely related to this, but you know, everybody's concerned about the price of gasoline. It's really getting expensive, so it seems. But let me read something to you that just came to me on the computer, and it'll make you think a little bit. It won't get you down the road. But Diet Snapple in the 16-ounce size is $1.29, so that makes it $10.32 a gallon. Lipton iced tea in the 16-ounce is $1.19 a container. That's $9.52 a gallon. Gatorade in the 20-ounce is $1.59. That's $10.17 per gallon. Ocean Spray 16-ounce, $1.25, $10 per gallon. Brake fluid, $3.15 for a 12-ounce. That's $33.60 a gallon. Vicks NyQuil. Anybody using Vicks NyQuil? $8.35 for a 6-ounce. That makes it $178 per gallon. Pepto-Bismol, favorite product for some people out there. $3.85 for 4 ounces. So that makes it $123 per gallon. Whiteout, we all use a little whiteout now and then, 7-ounce size, $1.39. That's $25.42 per gallon. Scope, 1.5-ounce size is 99 cents. That's $84.50 for a gallon. And so finally, here's the last one. Evian water, you all seen that one for sale here and there. The 9-ounce size is $1.49. That makes the water $21.19 per gallon for water. And a lot of people don't know this, but Evian spelled backwards is naive.
Not to mention a little bit, folks, there's some great studies out there that the water out of your well, and actually, matter of fact, the water in a number of the cities in the United States is as safe or safer than all this bottled water you're buying. The country of Canada just outlawed any plastic containers that can have bisphenol A in them. They've changed the law. We're still drinking out of them here. Your babies are still drinking out of them here. What is yours?
Nalgene, it doesn't leach. You can fill this up in your faucet.
There are a number of plastics safe now. As a matter of fact, a free plug for, I very seldom do this for a commercial product. Saran Wrap actually changed their formula, and it's now bisphenol and dioxin free. So if you want to wrap something, which I don't do. But there's a lot of ways. I think this thing started with how it's going to be greener, isn't it? One of the formulas I want to give you that I did get is so simple. You get a bottle of vinegar and a bottle of peroxide. And you spray the container, or whatever you're going to do, in my case I do my meat boards, with one or the other first. It doesn't seem to make a difference in the study. And when you do that and wipe it down, it actually kills more bacteria and more germs than pure Lysol. If you've ever read the side of a Lysol can, you can't say the words. It's just vinegar and 3% hydrogen peroxide. Now you put it together, but it makes an acid, which is names I cannot pronounce, and it's a little hard on your lungs. It's not that it's not effective, but they prefer you don't put it in the same container because it's rough on you. Yes, ma'am?
Does it matter what percentage or how much of each?
Well, what the article was is a pure 39-cent or 49-cent 3% hydrogen peroxide, and as usual, I always use Bragg's or one of the apple cider vinegars. I don't like the commercial white vinegars because they don't know where they're coming from. But they really did the study. This was at a university. This isn't just somebody. And it's clean as anything. There's some food washes they give you, but in studies they've done, you can use vinegar. You can use hydrogen peroxide and wipe it off and do just as good and not spend all the money. And going green. I can't tell you, but maybe a dozen things in your house you can use to wash your windows, wash your tubs, get rid of all the scum. All of it's going to be vinegar and baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. I'm an anti-chlorine bleach from the word go. I can't think of anything I want to use chlorine bleach on anymore. You can use either peroxide in your clean for your clothes, or there's some OxyClean products that are actually biologically acceptable now. So all this crap that you've got in there, my dad taught me this when I was a kid. If you can't read it, you probably ought not to be using it. It makes pretty good sense, right? I always say this, I did it last year. I tell you what, if you don't think this stuff you put on your body and in your body gets to you quickly, I want you to go home tonight and get one chunk of garlic and take your shoe off and crush it. Stick it in your sock and put your shoe on for 10 minutes and then taste it in your mouth. So if you don't think your skin is really one giant organ, I used to thought it was put on me to protect me from everything. Folks, it's a giant sponge. For you ladies that are using a lot of chemistries, or a lot of, you think you're just using makeup. Do you know most of it's totally untested? Dioxins in it, lead's in it, mercury's in it. Right now, there's no laws to change that. You're the only one that can be conscious of that. You don't want it on you, and you don't want it around your babies and your kids.
Bruce Dooley, Organic Matters, 5 to 7 on KTSA. Okay, guys, let's talk out a few of these things real quickly. Will tomato plants still make tomatoes? Mine have not made any yet. Malcolm, you grow a lot of tomatoes. What's your answer on there?
I don't know. You gotta tell us why you don't know.
I used to think I was a good gardener, but every year nature throws a new challenge at me. That's what makes it so much fun. You never know what's going to happen. You do everything the same every year, and I've learned this. Every year is good for something, but also every year is bad for something. But that's what makes gardening so challenging. I don't have all the answers. John does.
I only have the ones that Malcolm has taught me. But so here's one. Go out and talk to that tomato. Just tell it, if you don't start performing, you're out of here. And watch what happens. You'll start getting tomatoes out. We do have a connection to the plants. If you think that I'm being funny, it's not true. We do have a personal connection to the plants. They keep us alive. But you can talk to them. They do pick up the vibration. There was a test done one time with the philodendron, I believe it was, where there were two of them in the room, and one of them, somebody went up and put a match to it or a lighter to it and burned it. That person left the room. The guy in charge, I think his name was Baxter, put a lie detector on these things. And when that person came back in the room, these philodendrons showed that this guy had returned.
The Secret Life of Plants.
The Secret Life of Plants, great book. Go read that book right there. That's one of the best books, except for Malcolm's Hours. You can pick up these days. It's a great book. So the plants really are sensitive to our personal feelings, just like a dog. You walk up to a dog, if you're nervous, that dog's going to come after you. But if you're confident, that dog is going to sit there and it's going to be all right. So we do have these vibrations that we give out, and I think the plants pick up on them too. The Native Americans say a prayer as they put the seeds in the ground with great respect for the earth. These things are important. And I do believe that, and I've seen it many times. I mean, I've said this to people on the radio when they come up to me or call in a question. That is one of the answers that I give out. You know, and another thing that kind of goes along with this is that if you're going to transplant something, tell it about a day or two in advance that you're going to do that. And it'll transplant much better than you walking out there one day and start digging the darn thing up. It goes into shock. But if it knows in advance that you're going to do this, the transplant is much easier. And as you notice, I'm the only guy up here drinking water. I'm from Austin.
Do you leave your compost pile invisible side of all the other plants just to strike a little fear in their heart?
You know, and Malcolm has written about this, that is the part of the cycle of life. And so they know this as well as we do, and I think that they're not afraid when their buddy goes into the compost pile. What bothers them the most is when they go into the trash pile, and then we know we're out of sync with nature.
John's absolutely right, believe me. Delphine, my wife, she breaks all the rules. I said, sweetie, that ain't going to grow. Oh, it'll grow. I do everything by the book, the way it's supposed to be done. Mine dies or don't do very good. And hers just blooms beautiful. Makes me so mad.
Well, I actually tried that with my wives, and I'm down to about 4 now. So if they don't perform, they're out of here. Digging tomatoes. In all seriousness, folks, what they're worried about, what brought this up, I think, is it's getting hot off already. And there are some of the plants, tomatoes, cherries do okay, some of the others, but they do have a tendency not to set in hot temperatures. I'm not getting the tomatoes I got last year. Have you, Bob, or anybody? I'm not getting the numbers nor the sizes that I did the previous year. I've only got a few. I've got some heirlooms that I planted from Keith.
I'm not getting the size, but I'm sure getting the tomatoes. I think people who aren't key. People who aren't getting a lot of tomatoes set, maybe you've got them growing in a little bit of shade. Tomatoes like it hot. The more you dislike days like this, the better your tomatoes like it. There is no such thing as too much sun for a tomato plant. People